Hey, Don Copeland here, and time for another installment on our series about, what's the best piece of equipment for you to add to your business for what you're trying to do, or if you're starting a business, maybe where you wanted to start with a piece of equipment. We're comparing all the different processes we sell right now to the newest, which is the DTF process. This is the DTF that we sell. This is our 24 2H. We also have the 4H as well. 24-inch wide, 2-head or 4-head machines. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about heat applied vinyl. So when you have a vinyl cutter, there's vinyl cutters and vinyl printer cutters, right? And there are heat applied vinyls that you can use for both. So if I was doing that, let's say I had a blue shirt and I just wanted white names and numbers on it, I could literally get white heat applied vinyl and cut it and heat press it onto a shirt. In a lot of cases, that's what you'll see done with sports teams, names and numbers, whatnot. Pretty good application for it, relatively inexpensive if you just start with a vinyl cutter. Vinyl cutters can be as low as $500 or $600 a piece, and you just buy the colored vinyls that you need. Challenge being is you now have to keep an inventory of those vinyls as well, and they do involve a weeding process. Weeding is where you take away the materials, and I'm sure Hannah can actually drop in a clip here showing you how to weed away some of those materials, and which can be fine, but it can also be tedious. You also have a fair amount of waste on that if you aren't wise about how you lay it out on the material. Secondarily, you can also, if you have a print and cut like the Roland BN-20 that we sell at ColDesi, you can actually now take that white vinyl and print full color on it. All right? You still have to deal with the weeding process, and generally what they're going to do is you're just going to weed the outer edge. So you're going to end up with a transfer that is pretty heavy, right? It'll work great on smaller applications. We actually chose this application to show you kind of the extreme side of it, right? This is a pretty heavy hand on this because I've covered literally this whole area under my hand is one piece of material. Now you could have gone in and maybe eliminated the blue in here, but then you would have involved yourself in the weeding process of removing all of this from in here as opposed to just rip weeding the outside of it. That's kind of the downside of it. But if you wanted to do a bunch of small, like for a sleeve on a piece of performance wear or something like that, and just a logo, just an outline logo, you could do hundreds of them in a small amount of material, do it full color, and have a great solution for somebody who's just looking for a small identifier. In fact, you might use that for other types of applications to go along with a direct-to-garment print or a DTF print or something like that. So it's not like they're mutually exclusive, but that's kind of the downside of the heat-applied vinyl. And it can get costly. The material for heat-applied vinyl is not terribly cheap, right? You have to start with a white, you print your colors on it. So the feel on a white shirt and a dark shirt is going to be exactly the same. Areas like this are the white of the vinyl, not the white of the shirt, so you don't have softness in it as well. In contrast, this is a DTF print. Again, this is on a full cotton shirt. But what we've done with this is this area right here where I'm touching is not transfer. That's actually the shirt, and we've actually faded off into the shirt here. Much softer hand than we have on that transfer over there. Great stretchability, as you can see. If you stretch out the vinyl, what happens, the vinyl tends to have a little bit of a memory. So if you overstretch that, it's actually going to start to take that shape and you'll start to see some malform on the shirt actually. So certainly if I'm doing larger coverage areas, being able to be creative, not having to worry about weeding. Did I mention that you don't have to weed this, right? I print this onto a transfer roll, right? It's printed with the face down so that the glue is to the top. I transferred. If there's not any ink there and there's not any glue there, it's just going to be your shirt showing through. The overall hand you're going to get with DTF is going to be much lighter. I can just stack up a bunch of these after I printed them, cut them. I need to throw it onto a light colored shirt, a dark colored shirt, whatever. I just grab it and go. All right, so they're already done. Don't have to worry about what material it's going on. There's no weeding involved. When it comes off this machine, other than trimming it into the squares or rectangles that it's in, you're ready to go. And you press it just for a few seconds and you're ready to go, no weeding involved. Now, one thing that the vinyl cutter excels at is you can do other items. You can do decals, you can do signage, you can do magnetics for cars, you can do banners, right? Not something you can do with this, all right? So they are, once again, we get into the versatility on this side, right? Which is, I can do shirts, and a lot of people who do garments with their small eco-sols like the BN-20, literally they're just doing it as a stopgap. Their core business is signage or something like that, right? And they want to be able to do shirts for customers occasionally. And so this is an easier approach to them than buying a piece of equipment. So there's that balancing act. If your business is a lot of it's signage, you have a lot of business for decals and things like that, then this is maybe the way to go. If your core business is doing garments, then probably a DTF is a better solution, and maybe you just buy a small BN-20 is not a terribly expensive piece of equipment. You could add that if you want to do color, full color, print and cut, or you could go to just a vinyl cutter, like our Graphtex that we sell, and just do single color for your transfers, for numbers and names and things like that on shirts. Though you're going to find, as you see here, we could very easily have done names and numbers for garments on a DTF. So to summarize it again, heavier hand, right? Weeding involved, kind of crunchy when you do large transfers. Versatile in the fact that I can do vinyls for outdoor signage, for all kinds of different items, indoor signage. I can do magnetics, I can do yard signs, things like that with a cut and print like the Roland. Or you can go higher volume, softer hand, lower cost of output, lower amount of user interface, so to speak. When this comes off, cut the box out, put it on the shirt, press it, and it's done, as opposed to having to weed. And especially if I'm trying to reduce down the hand, I'm going to have to do more weeding because I have to remove more areas. With that, mid-20 range up to 30,000 investment for a DTF, anywhere from the mid-$6,000 range up to 20,000 for some of the larger eco-solvent print and cut type of machines. So it's really, the choice is yours. You got to evaluate your business, see what areas you need to grow in, see what areas you're struggling with right now, and make the decision for yourself. And that's really what this is about, and that's what we're here to do to help you with.